Steph Curry's wife had a moment like this when she was at the red table. Like, I feel that he's just all about, everybody's like all about him and this, that, and the third, and nobody's paying me no mind. This when Jada had everybody wild bugging the fuck out. And that shit went away quick. That shit lasted about a week. Because she understood, like, I don't know what
This
stuff.
whole TravisHunter situation, originally, I was like, we're going to talk about the couple. We'll get to that because this is bothering me a little bit, y'all. So it's time to talk about it. So TravisHunter's fiance, Leanna, released an 8-minute video on TikTok addressing all the issues people have said about her. She addressed her saying that TravisHunter originally wasn't her type. And she said that when Travis originally DM'd her, he had a girlfriend, so she ignored him until he was single because she's not a homewrecker, and why would her type be that? She also said that she's never had a physical type, goes on and lists the types of people that she's been with: a white cowboy, soccer player, SoundCloud rapper, all those things. Then in a separate video, Travis basically stood up for his fiance and basically said she's been crying herself to sleep and drinking a lot, and basically like, y'all don't know them, chill out, all that. So from what you've heard and what you've seen, Mase, gonna ask you first, how do you feel about all of this discussion around basically their relationship?
When I look at this situation, I want to be sensitive to it because I know this is his wife. Anybody got a wife, they're gonna care about it. But when it comes to the things that she's saying, if I take myself out of it and just talk about what it is that I'm seeing, it's one of those cases where you don't understand the moment you're in. That's just the best way to explain it. When she talks about the type of people she dated, okay, that's cool. The SoundCloud rapper, I'm for that as a fellow MC. You know, then she talks about the different things about how she wasn't dealing with him because he was dating other people. I'm for that, definitely, you know, being consistent in that. But then you turn around and date him after you say that he's a known cheater. If he's known to you as a cheater, when you meet him, he's trying to cheat. So even if you date him later, you know you were dating someone who was a cheater. I'm just saying this from a woman's point of view. From a guy's, we get it. Pause. But when you talk about the things that goes along with her, the real issue is that when you're dealing with Travis, you got to understand that he's the prize in the situation, and that's what everybody is really coming down on her about. She's not seeing him as a prize. She's seeing him as just a regular nigga. And the best way to lose a king is to try to treat a king like a regular nigga. Like, it would be like a woman, my wife, trying to treat me like a regular nigga. I'm not a regular nigga. I don't make regular money. I don't do regular things. Ain't nothing about me regular. Nothing is regular about any person that lives on that level. And you take the last interview, well, not even an interview, the last time he's doing a photo shoot, he wins the Heisman. She's sitting there like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit here? What else are you gonna do? Hit cartwheels? Yes, this is gonna be your life. People are gonna be focusing on him, and it can't look like he gotta always defer to you and turn everything and make it about you so you can feel comfortable, because that means the moment is too big for you. And that's what I would say. So I would definitely, even though I'm giving some strong information here, you guys definitely should look into counseling. Definitely look into that very fast, because that's going to help you guys stay together if staying together is really what you guys want, because there's some things that you need that he's not going to be able to give you, just because of the caliber of person he is. And I know that was a long take, but that's what I wanted to share.
Can you believe traditional modeling will finally be replaced by Trippo? The level of detail far exceeds your imagination.
I got two things to say, and then I'll let Stat go. Steph Curry's wife had a moment like this when she was at the red table. Like, I feel that he's just all about, everybody's like all about him and this, that, and the third, and nobody's paying me no mind. This when Jada had everybody wild bugging the fuck out. And that shit went away quick. That shit lasted about a week. Because she understood, like, I don't know what Steph said, I don't know what happened, but she calmed down the week. Take a look into whatever happened with that. That's one thing. And then the last thing I'll say is this, because I don't really have much to say about it, because I have no delayed sensitivity. So I just won't say too much about it. The one thing that I will say is that sponsors and teams are gonna look at this. It's not draft yet. You just signed with Adidas. I think she's in the commercial, if I'm not mistaken. She's in the new Adidas commercial. So shit go left. She said, I've been there from the beginning. So I would just take into heed, and I'm not saying she's going left, but I'm just saying take into heed, you're not drafted yet. You have millions of people that want to do sponsorship, and you may be scaring some of them away with some of the things that you have on your personal life. Keep your personal, and then business. And when you want to exploit your personal, at least go get your 300-400 million and then get into this. You got a lot of money out of you, young man. And I would definitely take heed to the sponsorship dollars that's in front of you, and also not make an NFL team scared that this situation will cause a headache. Because look, you've been with her 5 years and you've been busting ass every year. You just won the Heisman. That was playing 140 snaps a game. So obviously this isn't anything new. It's just your celebrity's growing, and maybe she's not used to it. So that's all I say. Just keep thinking about your money for both of y'all. If that's who you're going to be with in the future, this is going to affect your bottom line moving forward.
Yeah, I actually agree 100% with everything that you guys both said. I actually hate this entire situation because it didn't need to get to this point if people just kept things private. And I know it's a situation where it's like, of course her feelings are valid and his feelings are valid as well. He cares about his fiance, so he's going to stick up for her. But in certain situations, especially when you know who you're dealing with, or maybe she didn't know who she was dealing with and not expecting him to get to this point or this level, as a woman, especially when your man is at a certain level, you got to be selfless. You know, you're going to have to handle those situations elsewhere because, again, this is a topic that we're discussing. And of course, we're going to discuss it because he is a celebrity. This is part of the news. People are going to talk about it, whether you want them to talk about it or not. You have to learn that you don't have to address everything. And not everything's gonna be about you. Like, I tell my friends this all the time. They're like, oh, if I want to date like a rapper or an athlete, like, girl, it's not gonna be about you. That's just the truth, and you have to understand that, and that's okay. Now, if you're not okay with that, that's a discussion that needs to be had in private, so you figure out your next steps and can move forward. Because this lifestyle is not for everybody. Yeah. Learning that more and more every day is not for everybody. There's a lot of things that are gonna be out there that you don't necessarily want out there, and you can't control that. So if you want to jump ship, and I'm not saying do that, you know, if you guys can work it out, do that, because that'd be great. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. It's going to get very more difficult from here. He's going to be around a lot of women. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to see a lot of people every day. He's going to have access to things that normal people don't. You ain't with it. Now would be the time to, you know.
When you're a public figure, you can't escape being publicly responsible, and that's what is going to be a rude of awakening for her. And one of the things you don't want to do is run to the internet. You know, when people know they bother you, they're going to bother you more. And I say this in your defense and to protect yourself and to protect your mental space. Don't feel like you have to go to the internet and answer every question, because if you start it like this, then they're gonna troll you even more to make sure they constantly are talking to you. And that's the first thing I had to learn with the internet, being a person that really wasn't on the internet. Like, man, all these people be talking, like, who is this nigga to be saying this? And you gotta recognize these are just people. They have a keyboard, they have an opinion.
Yeah. And they're trolls, and half the time they don't even got a real profile picture. I had to learn that because people be making me mad, and I'm like, Treasure, you can't get mad, just go. So yeah, hope you take our advice. Wish y'all both the best of luck. And before we close, just got to get you guys' prediction on this NBA Cup Finals, OKC versus the Bucks. Mase, who do you think wins?
I want to say Milwaukee because I got a lot of people there, but OKC. I'm going OKC.
This is actually a really good game.
Is Czech playing?
He's out.
He hurt.
Oh.
They're playing good without Chet, though. They still in first place.
In the Bucks.
Damn, I said that one. Go with the Bucks.
Okay, we will know the decision later to see if you guys were correct. But that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching, and as always, it is what it is.
You already know the internet never takes a day off. And when the spotlight landed on TravisHunter and his wife, LeannaLenee, the online criticism reached another level. But you won't believe what happened once two of hip-hop's loudest personalities decided to weigh in on the situation. That combination created one of the biggest podcast conversations everyone suddenly couldn't stop talking about. Today, we're unpacking the entire controversy, from Mase and Camron sharing their thoughts on TravisHunter's relationship, to the no prenup debate that exploded across social media, and the way Leanna has continued dealing with relentless public pressure. Trust me, this story goes much deeper than most people realize. Every layer reveals another twist that changes how the entire situation looks. Before we get to today's headlines, we need to rewind and understand how everything reached this point. TravisHunter isn't simply another talented football player. He's widely viewed as one of the most dynamic two-way athletes college football has ever produced. After capturing the 2024 Heisman Trophy, he became only the second player in University of Colorado history to earn that legendary honor. Then came another milestone when the Jacksonville Jaguars selected him with the second overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Elite on both sides of the ball, a Heisman winner, and a top 2 draft selection, there's no question this young star is built differently. His ceiling appears incredibly high, and so does the financial future that comes with it. We're talking about a rookie contract worth roughly $4 to $6.5 million before the biggest paydays have even arrived. And that's only the opening chapter of what could become an incredibly lucrative NFL career. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. All that success also brought intense public attention. Sadly, much of that attention wasn't directed at Travis himself. Instead, it focused almost entirely on his longtime girlfriend, now wife, LeannaLenee. Leanna, whose legal name is Leanna de la Fuente, has been part of TravisHunter's journey for years. They first crossed paths when she was only 19 years old. Believe it or not, she rejected him in the beginning. Yes, she actually turned him down before the two officially began dating in February 2022. This wasn't some overnight romance. She didn't suddenly appear after NFL fame arrived. Their relationship was built long before the draft buzz, stretching back to a time when hardly anyone outside Colorado knew TravisHunter's name. Unfortunately, once the cameras started following them, that history suddenly didn't matter to the internet. The first major controversy surrounding Leanna erupted during the 2024 Heisman Trophy ceremony. As Travis accepted one of college football's highest individual honors, television cameras captured a brief moment that immediately ignited social media. While nearly everyone nearby stood to celebrate, Leanna appeared to stay seated. To make things even more dramatic, Colorado head coach Deion Sanders seemed to gesture toward her as if encouraging her to stand. That short clip spread across the internet at lightning speed. Within hours, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and nearly every platform were flooded with debates. The backlash became ruthless. Critics labeled her unsupportive, uninterested, and far worse. The online attacks escalated quickly, and people showed very little restraint. Leanna eventually shared her side of the story. She uploaded an 8-minute TikTok video addressing every accusation directly. According to her, she stayed seated on purpose because she expected the cameras to focus on that exact moment and didn't want attention shifted toward herself. She explained that the celebration belonged to Travis, not to her. She wanted him to enjoy his biggest achievement without her face becoming the center of online discussion. As she put it, she knew people online would analyze everything, so she intentionally stayed out of the camera's frame. She emphasized that she couldn't have been happier for Travis. She also said people were creating stories that simply weren't true. That's why she decided to explain what really happened. Did everyone accept her explanation? A few people did, but many refused. Because once social media locks on to a storyline, even a reasonable explanation often isn't enough to change minds. Then another controversy surfaced. A different video from the sidelines of a Colorado game started making the rounds online. In that clip, Leanna appeared frustrated while fans continued approaching Travis for photos. She was heard saying something along the lines of asking whether she was expected to sit there all day. The internet immediately ran with its own interpretation. Many claimed she was annoyed by the attention Travis received and couldn't handle his growing fame. Once again, Leanna responded publicly. She explained those people weren't random fans because the scheduled meet and greet had already ended. She had already spent plenty of time taking pictures, talking with attendees, and interacting throughout the event. She pointed out that a 7-second clip left out the entire context and that people were drawing conclusions without knowing the full story. She added that watching strangers invent narratives from tiny moments had become unbelievable. TravisHunter never stayed quiet while all of this unfolded. Time after time, he publicly defended his wife. He even pushed back against critics by saying many of the people attacking his relationship had never experienced one themselves and should focus on their own lives instead. Travis admitted the non-stop criticism had affected both of them deeply, revealing that Leanna had cried herself to sleep because of the hateful comments. He reminded everyone that he knew exactly who she was because she'd stood beside him for years, long before the public suddenly became invested in his life. Travis also left no doubt about where he stood regarding their relationship. He explained that when people attack Leanna, they are also hurting him because the two are inseparable, and whatever pain she feels is something he feels right alongside her. Then, the situation took another dramatic turn, and this is where things really spiraled. An old video suddenly resurfaced that appeared to show LeannaLenee dancing with another man at a party. The footage had been recorded before she and TravisHunter ever became a couple, but that important detail didn't stop it from spreading across every corner of social media. Almost overnight, accusations that she was only after Travis's money started gaining momentum. The narrative that she wasn't genuinely committed to him grew louder with every passing day. As the online attacks intensified, both Travis and Leanna temporarily deactivated their social media accounts. Instead of respecting that decision, many people treated it as confirmation that something was wrong. In reality, it looked far more like two young people stepping away from non-stop harassment and trying to regain a little peace, while the internet refused to let the story die. But believe it or not, the biggest conversation was still waiting to happen. That's where one podcast discussion completely shifted the spotlight and brought this controversy back into the headlines. Camron and Mase, the legendary Harlem rap duo turned co-hosts of It Is What It Is, decided to share their thoughts after TravisHunter and Leanna officially became husband and wife. And their wedding certainly gave people plenty to talk about. TravisHunter and Leanna exchanged vows on May 24, 2025, during a private ceremony held at a farm venue in Athens, Tennessee, roughly 60 miles north of Chattanooga. The celebration remained intimate, with close friends and family making up the guest list. Among those in attendance was none other than Lil Wayne. Then came the moment that completely stunned the internet. During the reception, Travis surprised his new wife with a custom Mercedes-Benz AMG G63 Bravas 800 SUV, reportedly worth well over $700,000. Yes, a wedding gift valued at more than $700,000 on top of an already lavish celebration. That grand gesture made it crystal clear that Travis wasn't holding anything back when it came to showing how much Leanna meant to him. But here's where the story took another unexpected twist, because shortly after the ceremony, chosen not to sign a prenuptial agreement before getting married. No prenup, despite a rookie contract reportedly worth between $4 and $6.5 million, and the expectation of millions more through endorsements and sponsorships. As you can imagine, social media exploded almost instantly. Before long, the debate landed on one of hip-hop's most popular podcast platforms. During a recent episode of It Is What It Is, Mase opened the discussion. At first, he joked that he was going to stay out of it, saying he would sit this one out. But if you know Mase, you probably knew that wasn't going to last very long. He went on to explain that based on everything that had happened around the young women, he would naturally have concerns if Travis were his own son. His delivery remained calm and respectful, yet the point couldn't have been clearer. From a father's perspective, he believed legal protection before entering a marriage involving that level of wealth would be a reasonable consideration. Camron, meanwhile, didn't soften his opinion at all. He openly stated that if he were in the same position, he would absolutely sign a prenup unless his partner earned the same amount of money or even more. He also addressed the familiar argument people often make, that requesting a prenup somehow proves a lack of love or trust in a relationship. Even so, Cam ultimately made it clear that the final decision belonged to Travis alone. He closed by essentially saying Travis should make whatever choice he believed was right, acknowledging that he's an adult capable of making decisions about his own marriage. Mase wrapped up the discussion with another thought-provoking point, arguing that if two people truly trust each other enough to get married, they should also have confidence that even if the relationship ends and children are involved, both sides will handle things fairly. And if that trust doesn't exist, maybe marriage isn't the right step to begin with. That single statement really says more than people might realize. Once Camron and Mase shared their opinions, the public response was almost perfectly divided. One side argued they were absolutely right, insisting that anyone earning that kind of money should protect themselves legally, no matter how strong the relationship feels. Others pushed back just as strongly, saying the two podcasters should stay out of someone else's marriage. One commenter summed up that perspective by basically saying, "Why does anyone care? Let Travis live his own life. Neither of these guys is even married, so why are they giving relationship advice?" That's a point that deserves to be acknowledged. Neither Camron nor Mase is known for living the traditional married lifestyle, so many people saw irony in them offering guidance about marriage. But here's where the conversation gets interesting. Whether you agree with them or not, they managed to spark a debate that reaches far beyond TravisHunter's relationship. The prenup discussion is one that comes up every time a young athlete signs life-changing contracts. When you're only 22 years old and preparing to earn tens of millions of dollars, financial advisors, attorneys, and experienced professionals almost always recommend putting legal protections in place. That recommendation isn't necessarily about questioning love. It isn't automatically about distrust either. It's about recognizing that enormous wealth can completely change circumstances. And if relationships eventually end or finances become more complicated, the legal system doesn't make decisions based on emotions. Courts rely on signed agreements and documented facts. Without a prenuptial agreement, marital assets can become far more complicated, depending on the laws where the couple lives. At the same time, TravisHunter deserves credit for something many people seem to overlook. This wasn't a random relationship built after fame arrived. He knew LeannaLenee long before the Heisman Trophy, the NFL Draft, and the national spotlight changed his life. She was there through the hard work, the uncertainty, and eventually the criticism that came with success. Clearly, Travis decided that the woman who believed in him before the headlines deserved to stand beside him after achieving his dreams. That's ultimately a decision only he can make. People are free to offer financial advice or share personal opinions, but when everything was said and done, Travis looked at Leanna and chose to call her his
was it your
wife.
concept?
He also
Nah,
backed
my
that
boy,
commitment with
bro.
a custom Mercedes-Benz G63 Brabus worth close to $750,000, making it obvious he wasn't shy about expressing how much he meant it. Now here's another part of this story that often gets overlooked. Leanna's personal journey may be one of the most compelling aspects of this entire controversy. The level of public criticism she faced would have overwhelmed many people. For months, she was labeled a gold digger, a clout chaser, an unsupportive girlfriend, and much worse, largely because of a handful of short clips that lacked important context. People questioned her loyalty. They questioned her character. They questioned whether she was only interested in fame and money. Yet through all of that, she never walked away. She stayed beside Travis and kept moving forward despite the constant noise. In July 2025, Leanna uploaded a TikTok video showing herself in tears. She later explained that the footage had actually been recorded back in December 2024, during the height of the backlash following the Heisman ceremony. The emotional clip showed her leaving the shower while crying, speaking to someone off camera, as an inspirational voiceover played in the background. She paired the video with a deeply personal message. She wrote that she wished she could go back and comfort the version of herself from December because she had no idea how dramatically God was about to transform her heart. She continued by explaining that she barely recognized the woman in that older video because the previous 6 months had brought tremendous spiritual growth. According to Leanna, dedicating her life to Jesus and stepping away from the pressure of social media had changed her in ways she never expected. She ended by wishing that same peace on everyone who came across her message, reminding people that their identity in Christ mattered far more than public opinion. That's what made the post stand out. It wasn't another defensive response aimed at critics. It wasn't an attempt to argue with strangers online or score points in the comments section. Instead, it was a young woman openly sharing how she had healed after months of public judgment and humiliation. Her message wasn't, "Look what they did to me." It was, "Look how far I've come." That perspective resonated with a lot of people. Angel Reese, who is known to be a close friend of Leanna's, commented that storms never last forever and said she was proud of her. Leanna responded with gratitude, thanking Angel for supporting and encouraging her throughout the difficult period. Even after the wedding, however, the criticism didn't disappear completely. When Travis gifted Leanna her custom Mercedes-AMG G63 Brabus, one commenter accused her of benefiting financially from a black man. Leanna answered with a simple reminder that she, herself, is black. That brief response showed just how much her approach had changed. Rather than allowing every negative comment to consume her, she appeared far more confident and focused on protecting her own peace. She has also become more intentional about the messages she shares publicly. Through interviews and social media, she's encouraged people not to let criticism limit their potential. She's spoken about personal growth and discovering your own identity beyond public opinion. She has even offered advice to other wives and girlfriends of professional athletes about handling the unique challenges that come with life in the spotlight. Because the truth is, being connected to a high-profile athlete isn't nearly as glamorous as many people imagine. Every facial expression, every comment, and every social media interaction can instantly become content for strangers determined to judge you. Leanna has experienced that reality on one of the biggest stages possible, yet she's still standing. Today, she is TravisHunter's wife. The couple welcomed their first son together in August 2025. When they celebrated their first wedding anniversary, Travis shared a heartfelt photo thanking her for being the best wife while telling her how much he loved her. Leanna responded by posting a wedding photo of her own, showing the bond they continue to share. Together, they've endured intense public criticism, survived it, and continued building their life as a family. While Mase and Camron raised arguments that many legal and financial experts would likely understand, TravisHunter ultimately made his decision knowing exactly who he was, what he had built, and everything that could be at stake. He considered the viral clips, the non-stop criticism, the podcast debates, and the pressure from the public. Yet he still chose Leanna. And he didn't make that commitment quietly. He celebrated it in front of the world, with a Bravis 800 waiting as a wedding gift. In the end, that's probably the biggest lesson from this entire story. The internet often believes it fully understands people's lives after watching a few seconds of video and listening to a handful of opinions. But sometimes the two people living the relationship know far more than everyone watching from the outside. TravisHunter has known Leanna since long before millions of fans were paying attention. And through every controversy, Leanna has continued showing that she refuses to let hate define her future. Instead, she's choosing to be defined by her growth, her marriage, and the faith that she says helped carry her through the hardest chapter of her life. Mase explained that if Travis were his own son, the situation would definitely raise concerns. Camron made it equally clear that he would insist on a prenup unless his partner brought in the same level of wealth. Those are both reasonable viewpoints. They're also conversations that plenty of people believe are worth having. But here's the part that often gets overlooked. TravisHunter isn't Mase's son, and LeannaLenee isn't just another name for the internet to turn into entertainment. She's a real woman who endured months of intense public criticism, only to come through it holding on to her love, her faith, and her peace of mind. And honestly, no matter where you stand on the prenup debate or what you thought about the podcast discussion, that kind of resilience deserves recognition. If nothing else, this entire story proves that fame comes with a heavy price. It can open incredible opportunities, but it can also place you and everyone closest to you under constant public scrutiny. The truth is, not everyone is built to withstand that kind of pressure. Leanna has faced it head-on, and she's continuing to move forward with confidence instead of letting the noise define her. That brings us to the end of today's story. If you've watched all the way through, then you already know what comes next.